All right, good evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with this weekend outlook forecast, and we got quite a interesting storm to talk about going through the weekend. All right, so let me pull up the weather maps, and we will jump right in here. All right, so the biggest thing here on the weather story for the tri-state area is going to be winter weather potential going into the overnight. A lot of these areas that you're seeing in the purple here, winter weather advisory. And kind of the idea here, lower Hudson Valley, southwest Connecticut, interior northeast New Jersey, 2 to 5 inches of snow and up to 6 for the higher elevations above 500 feet. So this will result in the snow-covered roads. Coastal flooding. So it is possible to see coastal flooding along, say, anywhere going up the Hudson River in the Hudson Valley there. Also, maybe along the shore right there, Long Island. Maybe a little bit going into the New York Harbor. Not really as much going into the Jersey Shore. But that's kind of what they're saying. Western Long Island Sound, New York, New Jersey Harbor, Jamaica Bay, Western Great South Bay. All these areas are where you're going to see a potential for coastal flooding with this system. That's the winter weather advisory, and there's not really a wind aspect that they're talking about with this system. So let's take a look here. Storm Prediction Center, nothing out there because this is mostly a winter system. And when I bring up the radar, we can see right now, it doesn't show a difference between frozen precipitation and liquid precipitation. It just shows what's out. It just shows something's out there. So the way this system's going to look like, and we're going to look at the forecast models, it's going to kind of come around. It's coming through with a heavy bit of rain right now. And then it's going to stall and kind of circle back just a little bit. Not really too much, but it's going to slow down or stall right in place there. And that's what's going to give us that little burst of snow overnight. Now, when I go into a radar scope here, and this is showing kind of the same thing that we're seeing some moderate rain out there going through Jerseys. Especially, I know some people say there's not a central Jersey, but it is the middle of the state that is seeing the rain out there. And when I switch this over to the precipitation depiction, you can see it's mostly rain at the moment. Temperatures will continue to fall through the night, and we can kind of see that Sussex County, northwest corner of New Jersey, that's starting to see that transition there already. When I pause this, it looks like Manalapan here, like Plainsboro, right around there is pretty heavy rain. And we can kind of see a little bit of snow, and there is a snow report coming in from Vernon over here. So it's starting to make the transition, but we're not there yet, so we're going to still have quite a bit of rain to deal with before the transition to snow. On the satellite, the biggest thing I want to take a look at here is water vapor. So the white and the blue is all moisture. So let me get a little zoomed in view here. So we can see there's really no what's called dry slotting. That means there's no period of like intermittent like snow, rain, then nothing, snow, rain, then nothing. And that means it's not going to be weakening the storm because the storm's not sucking in dry air, which would kind of choke the system. We're not seeing that. We're just seeing a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So this is a pretty healthy system. It's not the biggest and strongest out there, but it has some interesting movements associated with it. And we see this here, the low at this moment. Let me refresh and see if anything changed. Nope. It's saying it's 1,004 millibar low, which is not the strongest. It's on the kind of the weaker side. Again, kind of implying that there's not a lot coming out of this system. It's just the movement that's going to be kind of a weird factor with it. All right, so let's start taking a look at our forecast models. So the GFS, if you watched my live stream earlier in the week, this was a little bit hit or miss with especially the Monday system, which we will not cover in this video. But let's take a look through this. Right here, the overnight hours. So this is still... Actually, no, this is going to be 2 a.m. at this point now because Saturday night is going to be the time change. So this was 1 a.m. Now it's 2 a.m. 2 a.m. is showing kind of like that cutoff between very heavy snow there and very heavy rain over Long Island. And then this is the kind of like circling that we see the system doing. See that movement right there? So the system comes through, it dips south into the Atlantic, stalls. And when it stalls, that system kind of just like wraps around itself. And then it makes its way out. But also, very interestingly, like we were seeing on the live stream, once it does make its way out to sea, it strengthens. But that's not affecting us at all. That's really just a storm for the fishes. So that's what the GFS is showing. That was from Tropical Tidbits. Now moving to Pivotal Weather. Let's take a look at the European model. So already this is going into... It's a little bit colder, I think, the European, because this is showing a lot more ice heading in the way. So if we take a look at that compared to here, it's still there. It's just not as much icy weather, which we see a little bit of icing around Allentown there. But it's not nearly as much as what the Euro is showing. However, timing looks like it's correct with the Euro. And then there's that 6Z time frame where it looks like it makes that cold transition for that wintry finish. And there we still have it at, this is now 8 a.m. Saturday. And still that wintry mix happening, snow and then sleet. So that's where this is really more of a late overnight going into early tomorrow morning system. And it still shows it strengthens as it heads out to sea. All right, taking a look at the icon here. This is only 120 hours out. Let me just see if there's anything newer. Nope, just the 18Z run, but we don't need anything more than 120 hours out for this. So let's rewind this. All right, so this is warmer. This is showing all rain and no snow until, where's the time? Till that 6Z time frame, so 2 a.m. So timing looks like it's about the same as the other models so far, but it's warmer. And it still shows a little bit of that retrograde motion happening as the low stalls a little. Actually, it doesn't stall as much there. It stalls a little bit, does that loop back just a little bit, but it strengthens and goes out to sea. So that's very similar to the other systems. It's just the temperature is different. Going into the NAM here. Rewind the NAM. Ooh, this looks like a new run coming in. This is the 0Z run. This is 0Z is still 7 p.m. at the moment. It will be 8 p.m. tomorrow night. No, Sunday. It'll be 8 p.m., not tomorrow. And this is showing that little transitioning back and forth between snow and rain, so pretty accurate. And then it actually dies off. Let's see. So 6Z. It's just not as intense. It looks like temperature-wise, it's about the same. And then let's see if it does that. It still does that strengthening with the low. But see how it just stalls right over there? So if I just even leave the mouse right about there, you can see over all these frames, it really doesn't move. And that's what's going to cause the system, even though it's not a strong system, going to stall, so it's going to be a little bit more prolonged, allowing even just a little bit of snow to accumulate more. And then it makes its way out there. Into the 3-kilometer NAM. So this looks like it's starting out actually pretty accurate in terms of the radar. So that's showing that frozen line right there. And then, ooh, right here, this is the most intense snow. So this is showing instantaneous precip rate in millimeters per hour. So right there is getting into the purples, which is 10 to 14 millimeters per hour. So that would be about, say, 1 to 1.5 centimeters per hour. Half inch of snow, say. Let's say about that. So that's about a half inch of snow per hour. So that's a decent amount of snow. It's not blinding snow, which is usually 1 inch per hour or more. But it's getting close to that. And that's happening. Still looks like before daybreak at 12Z, going 10Z, right around there. So the system does move out to sea and then stall. And then when it stalls, or just as it's stalling, that's when the snow really comes into play from the New York City and north area. And then after it stalls and moves out to sea, but it really strengthens too. So it looks like the lowest that central low goes is 971 millibar, which is moderate. And now the HRRR here. Looks like that's the 1Z. I want the 0Z. Here we go. So this is initializing also pretty accurately. Usually these higher resolution models handle snow systems a little bit better. So it does kind of the same thing, where it starts as rain, a little bit of mixing happening, which is what's happening that northwest corner of New Jersey. Then it peters out a little bit just as it hits that 6Z, so that's still 1 a.m. at least for now. And then after that, it intensifies a little bit, going into 7, 8 in the morning. And then starts to make its way out by noon, and then that system strengthens quite a bit as it makes its way out. And let's see, the lowest point that goes, it looks like is 982 millibar, which still isn't that bad, but not as strong as the 3 kilometer, the NAM. All right, so everybody's always wondering, what are the snow totals looking like? So the GFS, let's see as we get through this system. And not much. The National Weather Service even said 2 to 6 inches for most of the tri-state region there. Maybe heading a little bit more north could be slightly more, going into maybe up to 6 inches there. That's why it's 2 to 6. Again, we saw that the model's outputting quite a bit of snow last time we talked about a snowstorm, and nothing happened in that central New York area, Albany region. And then we're not going to talk about this next system just yet. But once it loads, come on. So many people on the site right now. Oh, it's showing some 12s, but if you want to see that next system, definitely subscribe to the channel as we keep covering this next system. We got a Friday night to Saturday system, then we got a Monday night into Tuesday system. So that we won't really touch on at the moment. Here on the icon, so before that next system, okay, so this is showing about 2 to 4. So I would still say within that 2 to 6 inch range. And then the 12 kilometer NAM, it's showing up to 7. That might be a little high. But yeah, I'd still say within that 2 to 6 inches of snow. And now since the system is finishing as snow, it's not going to be washed away, and we have that colder air coming in. So this snow will stay through the end of the storm. And then we have the 3 kilometer NAM. I forgot the euro, so we'll take a look at that in a second. All right, so the 3 kilometer NAM looks like it's capping off at 2. So again, still within 2 to 6 inches. And let me go back to the euro here. And the only thing, I don't think I have much available with winter weather. So total snowfall. I'm not getting the positive depth. I have to pay for that. So we're going to assume the 10 to 1 ratio. And what hour are we at? We can even just backtrack a little bit. All right, so this is showing, say, 0.61 around New York City in the Bay Area, 2 inches into North New Jersey, 5 to 6 once you get into the northern part of the Hudson Valley. So it is showing, it looks like 2 to 6. So that's kind of what I'm going to say. For the vast majority of the area is 2 to 6 inches of snow. All right. So this is going to be a longer type of a system because it's going to be lasting overnight tonight through the first part of your day tomorrow. but it's not going to have a lot of snow with it. And it's starting off as rain now. We're just experiencing the transition at the moment, and then it's going to turn to snow and stay snow through the finish of this system. There's another system coming Monday that looks like it's going to have a bit more significant snow. That, if you want to find out a little bit more about it, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below and the little bell icon right next to that so you get notified whenever I upload videos like this or I go live. So overall, stay safe in the overnight areas. I would say just don't go out tonight or tomorrow. Sunday definitely looks like a better day if you want to go out on the weekend. But overall, I want you to keep in mind the winter weather good habits, trying to avoid any kind of travel. And for power outages, it's not really a high risk. We always want to, with winter storms, keep batteries on hand for flashlights, keep your devices charged, things like that. All right, this is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Have a great rest of your evening. Please stay safe through this storm, and I will see you all in that next video.